So yesterday I actually had a video where I reviewed the GF80mm, and one of the problems I talked about is how slow the preview was using the 80mm itself, and that's because the lens required to park before you can actually preview the photos. And let me show you what is the problem that I'm talking about. Notice the time taken for the preview to appear on the camera itself. And if you can hear it, you can hear the lens actually moving in and out before it actually shows you the preview. And that is because the lens is actually parking before you can actually preview anything at all. Now, the thing is that before this lens, nobody ever complained that this was slow, which means pressing the play button almost gives you an instantaneous preview of what you are shooting just now. So let me show you if I take out the lens. Notice how quick the preview actually comes on without the lens at all. So it got me thinking, and it made me investigate all the other lenses to see maybe it's the 80mm, or maybe the moment you a lens on is slow, what is the cause of it? So just to confirm whether is it the parking issue in the 80mm that's causing it to be slow, I went to check out. So I took, let's say, one of the lenses here, the 110mm, which is the most common portrait lens before the 80mm. Take a look at this. Notice how quick it is. And as such, nobody ever complained that the preview was actually slow. So the 80mm was the first lens that I felt, there was a little bit of lag when you press the play button. In fact, during the prototype stage, the lag was slightly longer, I felt. The thing is, how much longer is it? So to help you guys, I actually did a measurement across lenses I have, which includes the 45mm, 63mm, 110mm, 32-64 and the 80mm. I don't have the 250 anymore because I sold it away. But let's take a look at the results here. As you can see here, the 80mm is the slowest. By the way, all of the numbers are in seconds. So 1.8 seconds is probably the average time the 80mm requires to park the lens and show you a preview. And then the fastest lens is the 32-64 I have here at less than 0.9 seconds normally. Without any lens, it goes as low as 0.7 to 0.8 seconds. So this makes the 80mm almost twice as slow when it comes to previewing a photo versus the fastest lens, which is the 32-64. Every other lens was okay. In fact, even the 63mm, which is the slowest before the 80mm, was about 1.1 to only 1.2 seconds. As such, nobody ever complained pressing play button was slow except when using the 80mm. So the question is, why is this a problem, right? So let us go back to seeing the functions of this thing, of this GFX100, and how does it work with parking the lens and unparking the lens itself. So when you press play button, it parks the lens, and then it shows you a preview. And when you press play button again, or shutter, in this case I press shutter, I show you. When it goes out of the preview function, it also has to move the lens back to where it was previously or something. I'm not really sure what it's doing, but it is also slow. And it goes two ways, not just previewing photos and going back to shutter mode, it also affects the on and off. Notice the difference. Let me dismount the lens. Notice how quick it is to on and off the camera without a lens versus with the GF80mm on the camera itself. Similarly for the play and the returning to shoot mode. And this is where actually the problem lies. If the GFX100S and the GF80mm, for example, is your first camera, you'll be wondering why does it take so long to boot the camera up, and why does it take so long to off the camera, and why does it take so long to press the play button. Because the GF80mm is minimum 50% slower than the next lens, which is the 63mm, and almost twice as slow versus something like the 32-64 or without any lens at all. So it is significant when it's twice as slow. Now the thing is that this is not really hard to fix. Fujifilm could just give a firmware and just disable lens retract on off, on play, on something like that. This is a function that I found in the R5, and I activated it because I really dislike the need to wait for the lens to park before I can off the camera, on the camera, or even preview a photo itself. So I think Fujifilm can fix this really easily, but I just want to highlight to you that among all the lenses, the only lens today that will exhibit the effect that feels a little bit slow on the GFX100 is the GF80mm. It gives you this illusion that maybe not illusion, or in fact it's a quantifiable number, that the GF100 feels a bit slow to on, off, and even take a shot. But that being said, it is 1.8 seconds. When you look at the bigger picture of a photo shoot, let's say you do a photo shoot of an hour, 1.8 seconds times 2, because you have to go back to shoot mode, it really doesn't matter. I mean, in the entire shoot, it probably wastes you 30 to 40 seconds more, because versus 2 seconds, now it's 4 seconds. Not a big deal. I mean, even you shoot 100 shots, it wastes you maybe 200 seconds in an hour. And 200 seconds is not much time. It's about 3 minutes only. So maybe it really doesn't matter, but to those people who really love to preview with every single shot to make sure that it's sharp, it will be a little bit irritating, and it makes the camera feel slow. And that's about it for today. I just want to look in depth into the slow part of parking the lens and doing the preview itself. Nothing more to it. So if you have any more questions on my review or the GF80 or the GFX100 or any of the GFX lens, drop me a comment below and I will try to answer. If not, I will see you next time in my next video. Probably not a GFX video anymore. Maybe I'll go back to Canon or do something else, or maybe make a tutorial or something. But till then, I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Do like and subscribe, and sometimes I do post photos, and leave your comments there because I can do another Q&A session in the future.